Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. Now, before we get on to the next race, which will be at Kentucky, I want to take a look at a couple of things. First and foremost, let's take a look at the schedule. And you can see that Kentucky is up next for us. But then let's talk briefly about sort of where we've been the last few weeks. We went to Daytona, made our way to the front fairly quickly in that race, and then spent the last few laps having a lot of fun trying to get that outside lane going. We weren't all that successful with it, but we ended up with a top 5 and had some fun doing it. That was definitely some fun trying to get that outside lane working toward the end of the race. Then before that, we were at Iowa, and it's a short track, which means I automatically just love it. And we finished 14th, which means that put us in a position around sort of closer to mid-pack you get, the more cars you have a chance to race around. You find that the closer to the front you get, there are fewer cars, and they tend to be more spread out. So you don't get to spend as much time racing around other cars. You spend most of your time trying to either escape other cars and build a lead on them or chasing down another car. So 14th is not a bad place to run if you just are interested in being around a lot of other cars and having a lot of fun directly racing them. And then Michigan, I don't really like to talk about all that much because unfortunately we ran away with that one, and it was way, way too easy. So it was really not any fun. I'm sure it wasn't any fun for you guys to watch, and it really wasn't any fun at all for me to race. So now we're coming to Kentucky, another very fast, wide open or very close to wide open type of track. So I've got some decisions to make on the setup there and sort of determine where I want to try to go with it and be fast enough to give us a shot at a decent finish, meaning somewhere around the top 15 or so. And at the same time, not getting us so fast that we're able to get out front and run away with it. Definitely don't want that. Now, the next thing I want to do before we get to the race is take a look at the rival screen. I had a comment on one of the previous videos. I don't remember exactly which video it was, but on a recent video saying that, please show the rival screen. And I don't do this a whole lot, not because I'm trying to hide it, but because I never really look at it. It's something I very seldom do because I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. So it's very easy for me to forget that it even exists. So here you can see we have a few guys who are in neutral, and this is the way that each time that I have looked at it, it seems to run like this in cycles. I'll look at this and I'll see a few guys that have made their way up to neutral, and then a few races pass, and these guys seem to have gone back to either friendly or whatever is right below neutral. So there's not a whole lot going on here. You can see Eric Almirola, Ray Black, Brandon Brown, Brandon Jones. Some of these guys, I don't really remember racing around them a whole lot, but that's just because during the race I generally don't pay a whole lot of attention to it unless it's somebody that I'm familiar with from real life. Eric Almirola, I am familiar with from real life, and I don't remember really doing anything to him in a race. Ray Black generally runs at the very back of the field. I don't really remember. Maybe I touched him while we were at Daytona or something. Maybe that's where some of these came from. But overall, I don't really remember a whole lot about racing around these guys, which is why sort of the rivalry system in this game is very forgettable for me. I spend all of my time trying to stay off of these guys. I'm not looking to make contact with them. But perhaps if I spent more time racing more aggressively with these guys, maybe I would remember some of these guys and some of the contact that we have with them. All right, so that'll take care of the upfront stuff, sort of summarizing how we got here and a little bit about where we're going. So let's go ahead and hit next race, and you can see we're starting a next incentive contract, and it's really not a big deal. In fact, most of the time I will forget about that also. But again, Kentucky, 1.5 mile track. This is, I would have to say, my least favorite 1.5 mile track. And the reason for that is it's kind of odd the way it's built. And I don't mean in real life. I'm talking about in the game. It's got the banking changes that are very noticeable in the corners, where the banking increases from one part of the track to the next. And those increases are very noticeable, almost like seams on the racetrack. And it makes the car sort of jump sideways on you from time to time, maybe get tight on you, that kind of thing. So I'm not a huge fan of Kentucky, but it can be a lot of fun, again, if you get into the right situation around the AI. So I'm going to see if I can't dial up a setup for us that will get us into the thick of things and keep us with a lot of racing to do. Let's head to the track. All right, before we get the race started, let's take a quick look at the setup I'm going to be using. The shocks, weight settings, none of that is all that different. Nose weight is at 51.0, which I generally go between 50.5 and about 51.0. Again, the more front weight you put in it, the more stable the car will be, but also the tighter that the car will be. Front springs, same thing as they've been basically everywhere that we've gone. 1,000 on the left front, 1,200 on the right front, 50 pounds of rear spring split. That is to allow the car to turn a little bit, but not near as much as I would prefer to carry the amount of speed I would prefer to carry at this track. 2 degrees maximum on the camber and 8.5 inches on both the left and right side track bars. So those are numbers that are fairly standard that I've been working with throughout this season. So none of that should be all that different for you. The only thing I will tell you, the gear settings here, I am running really close to 9,000 RPMs. So it was very close as to whether or not I was going to keep this gear ratio or actually reduce the RPM some. I decided to keep it. If anything, that might hurt our speed a little bit and at the end of the straightaway. So we'll see how it goes. Overall, the setup feels very tight and should hinder our ability to carry speed through the corners. Let's go ahead and head to the race. All right, green flag, folks, at Kentucky. We're starting 31st in the field, so we're going to have our work cut out for us moving up through. Try to survive these first few laps. Again, the goal here is to be somewhere 15th to 20th, as that seems to be sort of a sweet spot for having fun racing around the most cars. Ouch, somebody's already beating and banging on me. Ooh, look out now. Brown, I think that was one of the guys that was neutral toward us when we looked at the rivalry system. All right, we are off to a good first few laps here. If we can keep this up, we'll be fine. As far as moving up through the pack. Ooh, really tight here. All right, not too bad though. We weren't able to stay. Oh, here's another one of our neutrals in the rivalry system. All right, let's move to the high side and see if we've got anything at all up here. The question here will be, are we too tight to carry a lot of speed on the high side? Because to run the high side, you really need to be able to carry a lot of speed through the corners. And if you're tight, it makes it harder to do that. But we'll see. See what we've got up here, since they seem to be extremely intent on hugging that bottom and keeping us from getting below them. Another thing that's very bad for you on the high side is when there are other cars already up there. All right, so now we're sort of stuck. All right, let's take it easy here and see how these guys take 3 and 4 side by side. And I think we got a little bit of speed up there, and we could pass some cars. But right now, it's just, we're kind of blocked. See if we can get on the outside of Brandon Jones. This is 3 wide. Please give us room. Thank you very much. They did. All right. Car is tight. I'm trying to stay in the gas though, coming off the corner. And we made it. So another good run. Again, 1 and 2, we're pretty good through here on the high side. We've got the speed to make up a few spots. JJ Reddick, we need you to hurry up and move along. If you could get single file, that would be wonderful. All right, 20 laps to go. All right, so we got a nice run here coming up on a teammate in Casey Kane. All right, see if we can clear Casey Kane. It won't be here for sure, but we might be able to get him in turns 1 and 2 if we can get a really good run. All right, very good run for us coming off the corner. And I think we got him. There we go. So we're up to 18th now. All right, I have to do a much better job of turns 3 and 4 with this setup, that's for sure. Because right now I'm diving in there way too hard. Have to back my entry up. There is a huge group of cars right in front of us that are, looks like trying to get 2 and 3 wide. Uh-oh. Oh. And we've just got a mess here. We just got a mess now in front of us. All right, but we're on our way. The beauties of running with the damage off. That would have easily done our day in. But now we continue. Lap 10 of 26. And once again, I have driven it too deep into turn 3. All right, we have a great run on that tift here. Not sure if we're going to have enough to get to him. No, not going to quite have enough to get to him here. That was a little bit better. Still very tight in turn 3 and 4, and you can easily see that because my car wants to move to the high side. It's just because it's not turning very well. Whoa, look out. He came way out of the throttle, more than I was expecting. Oh, and he's going to try to block us too. That's a really good idea. Especially we're at the point where we are in the race. All right, let's regroup, try to get back to him. He's hanging to that low side. All right, so now that's halfway. So 13 more laps to go. You can see some cars ahead of us way up on that high side, higher than you would generally see the AI cars working themselves. All right, so now we seem to have hit sort of a lull here. This is the time when our progress starts to slow down, and the main reason why it starts to slow down is we've finally gotten to a group of cars that are running about the same speed as we are. I think we're overall faster than Matt Tift, and I think we're going to have a shot at passing him, but we're not blazingly faster than he is to the point where we're just going to be blowing by him. You can see he's better than us at certain parts of the track. We're better than him at certain parts of the track. And right now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to get by him when we get to him, because I can definitely get it in deeper into turn 1 than he can. I feel like we're overall better than him in turn 1. that's not going to be enough, we're going to have to be able to deal with him in turns 3 and 4. And also you can see behind us a car is getting a little bit bigger in our mirror at each and every lap. So again, we've hit that part of the race where we finally reach the cars that are running the same speed as us. This is where you have the opportunity for the best racing. I'm going to use the brakes a little bit more because I am definitely struggling with turns 3 and 4, particularly the entry. And trying to figure out who that is in our mirror that is coming right up on us, and looks like they're going to be taking our spot from us very soon. All right, so now Matt Tiff has caught this group ahead of him, this 3 cars ahead of him. So now it's no longer about speed, it's about positioning your car and where you are on the track and who you're around. All right, Cole Custer immediately in front of us. Ooh, they are hanging to that bottom. Oh, hello. Ouch. And once again, you can see that the AI have absolutely no problems running you over for a spot. They're also not big on giving you room whenever you have position either. All right, so once again, we'll back up and reset, try it all over again. All right, so we're going to have plenty to get on their outside here from turns 1 and 2. The question is 3 and 4. I'm trying to get down as low as I can and still give them a little room. But you can see we just don't have the speed coming off turn 3 and 4 to hold it. So now we need a good entry into turn 1. All right, use this additional banking at the top of the track, try to carry a little bit more speed. And once again, we're back on the outside of Cole Custer. Overcooked the entry of turn 3 there. Yeah, we're going to need the inside in turn 3. Down Jeremy Clements is firmly in our way. So let's go ahead and back out of this a little bit. Try to get on the bottom. Maybe we can pick up this spot from Jeremy Clements. And then focus once again on Matt Tiff. Wow, that's a hard entry to get right because you're having to make a terrible line into there. We must have done pretty good, or at least better than the guys around us. All right, so we come out of this pretty good. We weren't able to quite make the pass on Cole Custer, but I think if we can get back to his inside right here. There we go. We're able to make the pass. We're up to 15th now. So the whole key for us is we don't quite have enough speed in turns 3 and 4 to make passes there and to really even hold our own there. But we've got plenty of speed in turns 1 and 2. And we just have to use that to our advantage. Unfortunately, we're kind of running out of time here. 2 laps to go. And we're up to 15th, which is our sweet spot that I'm finding more and more that I really enjoy running somewhere between 10th and 20th overall. Just more cars to have fun with in that particular area. You get to the front of the pack and it seems like things are much more spread out, which is what you would expect. but not necessarily as fun. Just so happens here, running 15th now, we've sort of hit a lull in between a couple of groups of cars. So last lap. All right, we got looks like a wounded car. Yeah, that is Ryan Reed running on the inside of the track. All right, well, we gave it all we had. Brendan Gaughan's just way too far ahead of us. So 15th is where we're going to finish. Very nice. I'm actually very happy with that. The setup worked out exactly as I had hoped with that finish. Very nice. I had a lot of fun there. There was some beating and banging for sure. But overall, a good deal of fun. As you can see, we're now over $5 million in our bank account with absolutely nothing to do with it. We remain in 5th position. Hard to believe Cole Custer is down there below us in 7th and without a victory. All right, fastest lap. I absolutely have no idea how close to that we were because not once did I see a lap time that we were running. All right, so that will put Kentucky behind us, and we've got our next hot seat offer. Interesting. RCR to drive the 3 car. We could use your help driving the number 3 car at Kentucky this Saturday, get a top 15 finish, and we might consider working with you in the future. So RCR considered a 4-star team in the Cup Series. It should be a lot of fun. But of course, that's going to be in our next video. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2.